Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Welcome to our webinar, 5 Indicators You Have a Hormone Imbalance. I'm Rebecca. I am the practice manager for Dr. Iris Crawford and Dr. Danica Camphy with NaturKur Wellness. We're going to get started shortly. I just wanted to go over a few logistical things with you so that you can engage with us throughout this live webinar. If you're on a laptop or a desktop, you'll see the chat box on the right-hand side. I added a chat in there this morning. You can go ahead and tell us where you're from if you'd like, or ask any brief questions. Dr. Camphy will be monitoring this throughout the webinar, so you can ask quick questions and she can respond right away. There's also on the bottom a section called Ask a Question. It's a pop-up box that you can submit a question for Dr. Crawford to answer at the end of the webinar. And then we'll have a section where she and Dr. Camphy can organize those. You can also vote if there's another question that somebody has posed that you are also interested in, you can vote on it and we'll prioritize the questions with the most votes at the end. Now, there is one caveat to that. If you are on a phone or a tablet, you may not see those options if you're viewing in landscape mode. So you may want to change your orientation so that it's vertical so that you can see the options to engage in the chat or the Ask a Question section. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Dr. Camphy. She's going to talk to you a little bit about Dr. Crawford and what we're going to go over today. Dr. Camphy is our associate physician and she is expertly trained in Dr. Crawford's Crawford Hormone Revitalization Method. So I'm really excited for us to get started and I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Camphy.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Dr. Danica Camphy. I'm an associate naturopathic physician working with Dr. Crawford. We've been working closely together, me in particular, to help her patients with hormone imbalance, and I'm trained in her hormone rebalancing programs. I will be able to answer any questions that you have in the chat. I might post some questions myself just to see if they resonate with any of you. And then I will moderate the questions at the end of the presentation today. So Dr. Crawford and I will kind of riff on those questions. So let me go ahead and introduce Dr. Crawford, our speaker today. Dr. Crawford is a national consultant, author, and speaker. She is an expert in women's hormones and is a health strategist. For schooling, she attended medical school and is an alumna of National University of Natural Medicine down in Portland, Oregon, where she received her Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine degree. Before that, she attended Bastyr University, where she received her Bachelor of Science in the Natural Health Sciences Department, where she majored in holistic nutrition. She is the founder of NaturKur Wellness and the Empowered Women's Health Project. She is a member of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians and is a current licensed naturopathic physician in the state of Washington. So I will go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Crawford.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much, Dr. Camphy, and a special thank you to Rebecca for setting these webinars up and all the tech know-how that you've done in coordinating all this. I really appreciate it. So welcome, everyone, to the webinar. Thanks for taking time out of your day to do something for yourself. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go at a pretty good clip so that we've got time at the end for questions if they do come up. So this webinar is for you if you've been to the doctor, but they didn't listen to you or take you seriously, and maybe you left without getting any help. Maybe you've had testing done, but you were told everything was normal, but you know something isn't right. And you want to finally know what's wrong so that you can do something about it and get back to doing the things you love. If any of this rings true for you, then you're in the right place. So I'm like you. I became a hormone expert because when I graduated from medical school, I was burned out, having panic attacks. I was 20 pounds overweight and nothing was working getting the weight off. It was during this time that I discovered a scientific approach to weight loss that worked really quickly and permanently for me and nearly 100% of my patients. So this led to a 10-year specialization in weight loss. And that experience taught me so much about how women and men are different when it comes to weight loss, because men can lose more weight faster than women. So I began researching how our hormones impact not only our ability to lose weight, but daily health challenges that most women face during their lives. I was able to help my female patients not only lose weight, but greatly improve their energy, sleep, mood, have normal, healthy periods and pregnancies, better libido, ability to concentrate, reduce chronic pain and headaches, and just have overall much higher quality of life. And if we can have higher quality of life, I believe we can make a bigger impact in the world. So what is hormone imbalance? The hormone imbalances I focus on are mainly the female reproductive, adrenal, and sleep-wake cycle or circadian hormones. There are some other common hormone imbalances, including thyroid, and while it can be related, it won't be the focus of the discussion today. So the hormone imbalances I'm going to be going over are high or low sex hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA, low progesterone to estrogen ratio, and high or low sleep cycle hormones, cortisol and melatonin. And some common examples of hormone imbalance is progesterone deficiency or high estrogen, both of which lead to something called estrogen dominance. And then another example would be elevated levels of cortisol, which over time lead to your adrenal glands getting burned out, and we call this adrenal fatigue. So in order to properly address a hormone imbalance, you have to look at the root cause. If you don't find the root cause, you're going to be treating the hormone imbalance forever. Identifying and treating the root cause is one of the fundamental aspects of the Crawford hormone revitalization method, which is why my clients have so much success. And there are three main causes that I want to go over with you today. Number one is stress. Most hormone imbalances occur in women because of stress. When we perceive stress, cortisol is produced by the adrenal glands. And when we make a lot of cortisol, it steals our ability to make progesterone, which results in low progesterone, which causes low progesterone to estrogen ratio. And this is happening in the vast majority of women. And if it's not properly tested and treated, it will continue to get worse over time, leading to the possibility of all the sex hormones, stress hormones, and sleep hormones going too low. The second thing is toxins. Environmental toxins actually interfere with hormone receptors, disrupting their ability to do their job, and sometimes mimicking hormones, which increases the risk of certain cancers. For example, plastics like bottled water or food containers contain xenoestrogens that attach to estrogen receptors. So that's a really important one to think about. And then the third thing is metabolic issues. So hormone imbalances can come as a result of certain metabolic issues such as PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome. In many cases, one of the causes of PCOS is blood sugar regulation issues or insulin resistance, which causes an increase in testosterone production. And that can actually create ovarian cysts, weight gain, acne, abnormal hair growth, and even infertility. But the problem is that none of these things are properly addressed in conventional medicine. Later, I'm going to be sharing a story about a woman whose life quickly and dramatically changed when she finally found out what was wrong with her after 20 years of searching with no answers. But first, I want to go over the 5 indicators that you have a hormone imbalance. So indicator number 1, fatigue. Low energy is very non-specific, and it can be due to several things, but most commonly overlooked is a hormone imbalance. So this hormone imbalance is usually caused by stress, and it's part of a syndrome called adrenal fatigue. And most MD, medical doctors, do not believe adrenal fatigue syndrome is a real thing. So there's many women who often walk away without getting the help that they need. Fatigue is one of the first things that happens as a result of prolonged stress. All of our hormones, including the fight or flight hormone, such as cortisol, give us energy, but over time, our bodies stop being able to keep up with that demand of the stress in our lives, which leads to lower energy and can keep getting worse. Now, adrenal fatigue happens in 4 stages. Stage 1 is where there's high cortisol output in response to stress, which steals your progesterone away, and your progesterone levels then start to drop. Stage 2, eventually the adrenal glands start wearing out, so cortisol levels actually start coming down, and they may even look normal, but your progesterone levels are low. Stage 3 is when cortisol levels are now low in the morning or at night, and then other hormones are starting to look low. And then stage 4, cortisol is low all day, and all the other hormones are also low. So indicator number 2, mood issues. Things like anxiety, depression, irritability, anger, and mood swings are directly related to hormones. This is because the calming neurotransmitter GABA is low if progesterone is low, and the feel-good neurotransmitter serotonin is low if estrogen is low. Most women who go to their doctors with anxiety or depression are offered antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication or birth control pills, and really they have a hormone imbalance. And these medications, while they may temporarily help, they don't fix the hormone imbalance that exists. And women are more than twice as likely as men to experience anxiety and depression, and they attempt suicide 3 to 4 times more often than men. So mood issues are disproportionately affecting women, and I believe it's because hormone imbalances are almost always overlooked. Indicator number 3 is sleep issues. Hormones are directly related to the ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. And most of us know about the circadian rhythm, which is our 24-hour sleep-wake cycle. There are 2 hormones that control this cycle, cortisol and melatonin. So ideally, we want our cortisol to be high in the morning, right before we wake up, and decrease throughout the day. And we want our melatonin to be high at night to help us fall asleep. When these levels are out of balance, sleep becomes more difficult. High PM cortisol tends to be the culprit if you can fall asleep okay, but you wake up in the middle of the night or early in the morning and have trouble falling back to sleep. Now, if you have problems falling asleep, most likely your PM melatonin is low. And there are a couple reasons why your melatonin could be too low at night. One is it has an inverse relationship to cortisol, and my theory is that it actually gets used up trying to lower cortisol. I almost always see low melatonin in stage 2 and higher adrenal fatigue. The second cause of low PM melatonin is exposure to artificial light before bed. Melatonin is produced in the presence of darkness. It should exponentially increase around 10 p.m., but it can't if you're on your phone, the computer, or TV before bed. And other hormones like progesterone with its calming effects discussed previously also can impact our quality of sleep. Indicator number 4 is weight gain. Hormones not only interfere with our ability to lose weight and make it easier to gain, but they also dictate where fat is deposited on the body. For example, with estrogen dominance, you're going to have more fat depositing in the hip, thigh, and breast region, and potentially increased weight due to water retention. Cortisol causes more belly fat to occur, and stress leading to high cortisol production, I refer to as the triple threat to weight gain. So the triple threat is 1, high cortisol causes insulin resistance, which is why many times you may have unexplained weight gain during or after times of high stress. 2, it causes a hypothyroid mimicking state because cortisol blocks the activation of thyroid hormone. And then 3, it causes estrogen dominance because it shunts production away from progesterone to produce cortisol instead. And low progesterone, remember, creates that low progesterone to estrogen ratio. So if you've been struggling to lose weight no matter what you eat or how much you exercise, this is most likely the reason why. Okay, indicator number 5 is foggy brain. So foggy brain, difficulty concentrating, poor focus, or memory issues are something a lot of women have noticed great improvement with when their hormone imbalance was corrected. This is because hormones are directly tied to neurotransmitters that act on the brain and control memory and focus. So this is not something we just have to tolerate as we get older. We can actually fix it. along with a host of other things that result from hormone imbalances. So I know that was fast, but those are the 5 most important indicators that you may have a hormone imbalance. Now, of course, there are many other things associated with hormone imbalances, but this was a laser-focused talk, and I wanted to go over the 5 most important, most common things that we're dealing with. But I promised I would tell you the story of a woman who searched for answers for 20 years before she finally got the help that she needed. This is Tommy. At 59 years old, Tommy came to me to lose weight because she was fed up with carrying around an extra 45 pounds. But she also said she was so tired all the time that all she could do was work, eat, sit on the couch watching TV, and then get up and do it all over again the next day. Her life had literally narrowed to working and lying down because of her exhaustion. She'd wake each day with this feeling of dread, just wondering how she would get through the day. Tommy told me that she was struggling with depression. She said she felt trapped, hopeless, and lost, and felt like a huge failure because she was just barely existing. And after 10 years of being a social worker, Tommy had burned out and could no longer fake it around people. That's what she said. So she changed careers and became a house cleaner to make a living so that she could hide from people. She withdrew from people entirely. She had no confidence and felt like she had nothing to offer. She had an interest in painting, but she was too depressed and tired all the time to paint. She also told me how she had gone from specialist to specialist her whole life, searching for the treatment that would finally make her feel normal. She even saw a naturopathic doctor who diagnosed her with chronic fatigue syndrome, but no real solutions were offered. So after evaluating her issue, I believed something was very overlooked and missed by her other doctors. And when the lab results confirmed my suspicions, I created an individualized treatment plan for her. By the 3rd day, she said a dark cloud was gone. On the 5th day, she said she was accomplishing more in that single day than in the past 5 years. By the end of that first week, she couldn't believe the difference in how she felt and that she'd wasted 20 years depressed and living with her head in a fog. You know, Tommy feels like she has a life again. She wakes every day feeling positive. She says she has so much more time now because she never naps anymore, and she no longer spends time or energy searching for the solutions to her illness. And by the way, she's also down 60 pounds. Here's Tommy now. And people are amazed when they see Tommy. They ask her what she's doing. She's taken up painting again, and she's thinking about what she wants to do with her life now, and she's even enrolled in classes. So if you can identify with any part of Tommy's story, know that you are not alone. You know something in your body's not right. You really want to find out what is at the root of the issue. So if you think prescription medications may not be the answer and you want to discover if there might be something else going on, we've made some things available to you so that you can get help with this, because we don't want you to wait 20 years before finding answers like Tommy did. So first, there are some things that you can start doing on your own right now to help balance your hormones. We've identified the 4 major areas of your health that need to be optimized to improve your hormones. So these 4 areas are sleep, stress management, detoxification, and diet. And if you're wondering exactly how to do this, we've created something very special for you so that you have some guidance with it. It's a free gift created exclusively for you for showing up today, and it's going to help empower you with your hormone health. So each of you will receive the hormone balancing toolkit so that you can take action right away towards balancing your hormones at home. This will help you with the exact strategies for each of the 4 major areas. We wanted you to come away with specific things that you can implement right now. These are things that all of us need to put in place to improve our hormones, and that will help regardless of where you're at. Now, we do have an additional surprise for you, though. We wanted you to get a ton of value out of the webinar, so we're going to give you access to our comprehensive adrenal and hormone imbalance score sheet. This is an 86-question assessment that identifies what stage of adrenal fatigue you're most likely at out of the 4 stages possible. So check your email for both of these in the next few days. But of course, the most important actionable step is to know exactly where your hormones are at. So testing the right hormones in the right way is the most powerful thing you can do for your health. That way you can take more targeted steps to eliminate symptoms of hormone imbalance that are specific to you. So earlier this year, we launched this direct-to-consumer at-home adrenal and hormone test kit. This at-home test kit changes everything for women's health because it puts the power back into your hands. And now everyone can access this testing that I created for the Crawford Hormone Revitalization Method without having to see a doctor or sign up for a program. Previously, only my patients who were enrolled in my program had access to this. So what do I mean by testing the right hormones in the right way? Many women who go to their doctors because they know something isn't right may even go in asking, could it be my hormones? But the blood tests all come back normal. What's missing is that they aren't testing the right things or in the right way to accurately measure if you have a hormone imbalance. Testing this specific grouping of hormones and in saliva or urine, not blood, is the most accurate way to identify the hormone imbalance. And since this is such an important step for you to having more energy, better moods, and sleep, and just overall being able to make a bigger impact in the world, we wanted to make this available to you as well. So here's what the test includes: accurate testing through saliva, adrenal and sex hormone levels, progesterone to estrogen ratio is calculated, AM and PM cortisol and melatonin levels, a 5-page results report, free shipping, and it's normally priced at $547. But I know everyone loves to save money, right? So we wanted to make a few kits available at a significant savings, and this is just for a limited time. So right now you can get 30% off using this code webinar30. So there's a button at the bottom. If you wanted to grab that now, you can. This is the lowest price you'll ever see. So it's the perfect time to get it. So I've shown you the 5 indicators that you have a hormone imbalance. If you have even 3 of these issues, I know this testing will help you. And if you don't address it now, most likely it will get worse. So if you're ready now, then go ahead and grab your home kit. And there are other ways to work with us as well. So any of these virtual appointments, so if you just have some quick questions, you can schedule a free 15-minute informational consult. If you want to have a more thorough assessment of what your hormones are doing, we also offer a complimentary appointment with Dr. Camphy that goes into more detail and identifies your specific underlying imbalances. Dr. Camphy is trained in the Crawford Hormone Revitalization Method, and she'll help you get insight into what's going on in your body so that you know exactly what to do next to fix it. And you can also schedule a health strategy session with me. So this is a 45-minute one-on-one appointment where I'm going to assess your specific situation and get a plan to get your life back. You'll benefit from my over 14 years of experience in women's health and hormones. And this session is $297, and that would go towards any program that you may qualify for. And then lastly, if you're ready now, you can sign up for some of our most popular programs right on our website. So to sign up for a program or to schedule any appointment types, go to our website at naturkurwellness.com, or you can email us at info@naturkurwellness.com. And just thank you for showing up today. You really showed up for yourself. And it was a pleasure to have you with us, and we're ready to answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, so the only question that came in was wondering how long it takes results to get back. So when you send in your test, how long will it take for saliva results to get back to you?
Okay, yes, I think 7 to 10 days is the timeline on that, if I'm correct.
Yeah. I answered 5 to 7. Sometimes the lab is a little bit faster, but especially with COVID and everything going on, the labs are getting a little overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it'd be nice if it came in faster, and sometimes it does, but just to know that's what we've been told by the lab, yes.
Yeah. And do you find, Dr. Crawford, that the results sometimes come back, mainly in the green, or what do you generally find with your results?
I've never seen a perfect test come back, so there is that. So I would say usually there are some green things in the green, which is good, but always there's at least 2 or more things that could be in the red. It tends to be like low progesterone or low progesterone to estrogen ratio, like we were discussing, low nighttime melatonin, and sometimes it's even cortisol can be low as well. So especially if there's fatigue, trouble sleeping, then we know for sure this is going on.
And then we just got a question in, can fibroids be a part of hormonal imbalance?
Oh, good question. Yes, so fibroids are specifically related to a low progesterone to estrogen ratio. And actually, even the conventional treatment for bleeding fibroids is progesterone treatment. So low progesterone actually causes those to grow. And so I can't actually reverse once they've grown, but we can stop the growth using hormone balancing.
Great. That looks like that's all the questions, unless a couple more come in quickly.
Awesome.
But yeah, let me go ahead and I will type in the email address and then our website.
Great. Well, this was a ton of fun, and looking forward to the next one. Are we going to do one next month?
I guess we will. These have been pretty well.
All right. Well, we're open to suggestions on topics. What do you want to learn more about? And we're going to try to set one of these up every month so that you can really make sure that you're staying up on all the latest with hormone balancing. So thanks for attending, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Take care of yourselves.